We're live. How are y'all?
Good.
Present.
Been a wild week to 10 days in the states.
Are you
Pretty
out of the
interesting.
States?
No, I'm in the states.
He's in his, Central America beach house or whatever.
Yeah. Barely afford my own house, much less a second house.
Are you looking forward to Crash, Brock?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's gonna be fun. Obviously, I'm not doing it, but yeah, it's gonna be fun.
I think we should.
I enjoy it.
I think we should invite Daniel.
The invite's open.
When is this?
October 22nd, October 19th, something like that. But I'm commentating. Sevon Cruz doing it. And Brock is like a crewman. What would you call it? Equipment crew.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
But we mess around a lot, like in between events. So it's just because it's just an elite competition. There's not community, there's not teams, it's just that. That's it. So like the rest in between the events, everybody's chilling. So like we end up clowning around like a lot in between the events. Yeah. It's like I think you would just like hang with Brock the whole time. I think it would be a good time. It's very intimate. It's way more intimate than it's one gym the whole time. Like it's smaller than Syndicate, but more crowded in a way.
Yeah, it's a lot different than Syndicate.
Yeah, Duke versus Duke basketball versus Tennessee football.
Yeah. No. Maybe not Tennessee football. Tennessee football is like the games. Duke basketball versus Duke football.
There's that big a difference?
Nah, maybe not. Nah, hold on. I will find the right analogy here.
I got it. It's okay.
Is Duke football lame or something like compared to basketball?
The fan base is horrible, man. And I mean,
Really?
I love my time at Duke. I don't hate, but yeah, the fans don't know how to cheer for football. It's horrible.
They're their football team, I would say, is not bad, but they're not good either. They're very middle of the road team. Yeah.
Great for the ACC.
Yeah. Ooh, Clemson. That would be a better Clemson football.
Clemson football
is Crash. Duke basketball. Duke basketball. You don't even know what I'm talking about. So Duke basketball to Clemson football.
You put Tennessee football ahead of Clemson football right now?
As far as their fans, the stadium, like the way football just is, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think you've ever been to Clemson.
Yeah,
I have been to Clemson. I have. That's the only thing they got, but it's not like the SEC. Or I'm even willing to go like maybe South Carolina football.
Whoa.
You have to understand.
Worse.
You have to understand. Like we're talking about Syndicate. Like Syndicate is a big competition, right? But like Duke basketball, there's not as many people, but it's way more intimate. And the people who are there love it. It's not just like people who are there because they know somebody that's competing, but they don't really know. You know what I mean? And like the games, I'm just thinking of size. And Tennessee's like one of the biggest ones.
Yeah, Clemson's pretty big though too, dude.
They're like 70,000. Tennessee is 100.
Yeah.
Tennessee is huge.
You're right.
I'm not thinking about like I'm just thinking sheer size.
Okay. If we're going, okay.
It's like it's a coliseum. Like I just, you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying like what team is better. No, I don't like what team is better. I don't care about Tennessee. Clemson's way better than Tennessee, even though they're getting whopped by Georgia Tech right now. But
are they?
It's like 14-7.
Where in the game are they?
Third quarter.
Halftime right now. They may have already started the third quarter. I ain't sure. I was watching a little bit before halftime.
I want Georgia Tech to win so badly.
Me too. I hate Clemson so much.
14-13 Clemson.
They just scored then. Wow.
Third quarter, 9 minutes left.
I think college football is better when Clemson's good, though, personally.
I think whenever they did the reseeding of like the teams, like Texas and Oklahoma should not have went to the SEC.
Probably.
I think some SEC teams should have went to other conferences. I would love for us to make the conferences equal, in more or less equal. You know what I mean? Like the Big Ten has two really good schools. That's it. The ACC has a lot of not good, not bad schools, and then they have Clemson. Who else? Who else is there? Miami,
Miami, and Florida State. If either is any good this year, yeah.
And I feel like if we're gonna say, hey, Texas and Oklahoma, they just want to go to the SEC so they can.
I think it's.
He muted himself.
Yeah, I mean now.
Yeah,
got you now. I think it's really weird that
equal
Texas is even considered Southeastern Conference. Like that.
They're not. There's the Big 12 still there. I think every 10 years, it should just relocate. Maybe every 20 years.
What should relocate?
Your designated conference. Every 20 years, you got new teams that you go against.
I think it's all changing, dude. What it's going to be in 5 years is completely different than what it is now.
That would be interesting though, because that would change the dynamic of everything. Yeah, I think you could do it to make it more interesting. You could do it more than you could do it more frequently. I mean, it would be logistically, it would be very difficult, but it would be fun to watch.
I mean, just Power 5. I mean, like, guys, obviously, like, you need planes and stuff to get to places, and like you can take location into consideration. But I just think if you're like the past 20 years, you could rank the top 50 teams and then allocate where you want to be, or even every 20 years, you could have a draft of where do you want to be. The number one team of the 20 years, they get the first pick. So let's say Alabama says we want to be in the SEC. And then Ohio State was like, we like the Big Ten. We'll stay here, right? And then who's like the third best team of the last 20 years? Florida? No.
Georgia, maybe?
2005 to 2025. Yeah, Georgia. Yeah. They don't have to be where Alabama is. Now, I think a lot of teams would have pride, but I think you wouldn't have one just lopsided conference and one lopsided in an easy way. Because right now, who's in the Big 12?
Colorado.
Nobody. The Big like that's like it's crazy to even call. We shouldn't even call them a conference.
Dude,
They're like the Pac-12, non-existent.
Those were some of like the best games I watched growing up too, like Oklahoma,
Texas Tech,
Nebraska, Texas Tech. Yeah,
Mahomes and Baker Mayfield. Like I like that they have their own kind of thing. They don't play defense. Their offenses are crazy, right? Like
before Baylor went into all that scandal with our Bryles, they were really good, dude. Mm-hmm. They were fun to watch.
RG3.
Yep.
The part that sucks about it now is teams like that, like your Colorado, like they pretty much get a free ride to the playoffs. They play nobody. You know
exactly.
what I mean?
Well, freaking Indiana went to the playoffs. Indiana.
Like ACC is not as bad as that, but even like a Clemson almost has a free ride to the playoffs every single year because their conference play is slim to none.
And that's what I'm saying. And think how cool that would be to like you would watch the draft. It only happens once every 20 years. You know what I mean? Like you telling me that wouldn't be like awesome? Daniel doesn't like it.
I don't hate it. It's more just I don't know, dude. It's college football is jacked the way it is now, and something needs to change.
Well, I'm giving you what the solution. You don't.
I'm not saying. I'm not saying like just different teams have to play each other. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying like the whole structure of it with the way NIL is structured with everything. It's destroying the fan base, I think.
That's a good point. Would it be for all sports?
Well, that's the thing. Like, and that's another example. Like, are we talking revenue sports? Because revenue sports drive everything. Like, or are we talking non-revenue sports? So, I mean, like everything goes as football goes because football makes the most money.
Yeah, I think you just gotta. I think football just sets the tone. I'm sorry, everybody.
Football is its own entity, to be honest, because it makes the most money. That's just the way it is, unfortunately.
But also, if you just want to say it's just for football, I'm even okay with that because they're the ones who have planes to go places. They're not going to give out. Some people are riding the bus.
Right. Well, I think that's what it's going to turn into, dude. The two revenue sports, football and men's basketball, are going to be straight up minor leagues. Like, you go to school, yeah, who cares? Nobody cares. Like, you're just going, you're transferring all this crap. Like, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And then all the other sports will back down to what it was, where it's more like, this is your team, this is your college, this is what you're doing type of thing, because it can. That's my personal opinion. That's probably where it will move to. I prefer it not to because I think it's terrible for football. It's screwing high school kids, man.
Well, the NIL?
NIL, the transfer portal, all of it.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I completely agree. They should have never made it a thing at all where you get money or I don't know how you stop the transfer portal though.
The transfer portal just needs to be regulated.
I think you just put regulations around it.
You have to be here for 2 years no matter what.
Or even just one transfer time per year. And you have to sit out a year. So there's at least a penalty for like, hey, you're doing this, like, but you can go anywhere. Like I sat out a year, but I couldn't go anywhere. They could restrict me. So like, just make a penalty of some sort. I don't know. It's like so that you got to cap
it too, because I mean you got dudes, you got the 28-year-olds, 27-year-olds, 6-year senior, and I know COVID added a year to that, but like they're finding the loopholes, and you're having 6th and 7th year seniors.
Yeah.
Like that shouldn't be able to do that.
Yeah.
I agree.
I don't think that. Yeah, I think I agree. But what's bad is I don't think they can go back on the thing like in the NIL. Like once you open that box, it's open forever.
I think you can go back on the NIL. You can't go back to what it was in general, though. Like it has to now switch to something like, I don't know, some same structure as the NFL in a way where you get paid like royalties or something like that. I don't know what it is, but
I
you
think
can't.
forcing kids to stay wherever you chose, no
like
matter
it used
what.
to be.
Yeah, I think that's.
I don't like that because
I know you
then
don't.
there's a good and a bad of the transfer portal. The good, like those coaches no longer have the power they used to. So you can't have a bunch of a-holes running college football. The bad is now you have kids who don't know, or just taking advantage of the system, just jumping ship every year. So it's got to be an in-between. It can't be one or the other.
I mean, I think they should, but I'm talking about the NFL, NIL. I think they should do away with that period.
Yeah, I just don't know how you do that. You're right.
Then, of course, there will always be like some unfortunate stuff, like Johnny Manziel, who gets no credit for anything, or gets no money for anything that he brought to Texas A&M, and then like doesn't pan out, and then doesn't make any money. But I'm okay with those cases taking place. That sucks, but there's very few people that happens to.
Sure. And they make their money in the long run usually.
Yeah.
Or don't.
His situation was really unfortunate.
She's just chilling, man. You muted yourself again, John.
I know my microphone is being touch finicky.
All right, what are we getting into today? Because I
got you on. Yeah, I can't be on here very long either. I got a hard stop at 1:45. All right, Charlie Kirk died, shot, martyred. Daniel doesn't feel bad at all. Daniel's actually happy.
Oh my gosh, dude! Could you not take that out of more crazy context?
Brock's a little shook. I'm a little bit shook, torn up. I'm not shook, but I'm torn up about it. And that's where we lie. And we're gonna end the podcast there. So that's.
It really did. It's messed me up some.
How so? Elaborate.
I don't know. It's just like, I don't know. It almost like, yeah, he was a brother in Christ. Like I'm not like trying to sound cheesy and like that, but I mean, it did feel like, I don't know, like losing somebody on the same side. Like it shouldn't feel different than any other human, but it did. You know what I mean? Like it kind of, it cut a little deeper. And I don't know if it was because like I was thinking about like kids and me having two kids close to the same age as his, and just the fact that he was, I mean, if you watch his interviews, and I know both of y'all have, and majority of people close to our age has, but pretty much every question in some way, shape, or form, he pointed it to the gospel. Like in every interview, he always pointed it to the gospel. So I mean, that's an aspect of it too that I was like, that's, quite frankly, I mean, I look up to people like that. You know what I mean? So it's like you're losing a role model in a way. I don't know. It's just, and I think the worst. And I know I'm rambling now, but when you sit down and think about it, the worst, in my opinion, one of the worst things about it is he was killed for the First Amendment. he's literally doing nothing but speaking. I mean, he's talking to people. That's all he's doing. I mean, he's opening up conversations with people who disagree with him, and you know what I mean, like murdered for having a different opinion. I mean, that's a big deal. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I look at it as he is one of the few people that I thought had serious influence in the world, and I believed in his. I thought he was genuine. I don't think he was political, for lack of a better word. One of the few genuine people there was, and I never knew him, never talked to him. Like, he could be super fake, but he appeared to me as a very genuine man of faith and not afraid to say it, and one of the very few people that is like that had enormous influence on the world, or on America, however you want, on people in general. And like Brock, like, I admired it. I mean, I told y'all I wanted him to be president, and you said it would never happen, Daniel. And so no, I was very upset too. Daniel has a great outlook on it. When he said that, I was like, yeah, that's cool, but it was hard for me to get there.
Yeah, that's fair. I think you guys were both probably more invested in like him as a person than I was. I really didn't watch much of his stuff because the only stuff I did see were like little snippets of his conversations with people that were typically super confrontational. And I get kind of queasy watching that stuff. So I'm just kind of like, and I know he was like very like respectful with everything he did and whatnot. So so I just wasn't as invested in him as a person. But and I think that's probably why it's a little easier for me to get there. But regardless, it's we know where he is. So like for him, dude, like to live is Christ, to die is gain, as Paul said, right? So legit, he is in a much, 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 much better place. And then for the country, dude, I'll be completely honest with you. Like some of this is like relieving in a way, but it's also like sadly, I say borderline depressing in some ways, where I'm just like, dude, we're going down the tubes. It's not if, it's when. So if we know that the world's destined for destruction eventually, and Christ is coming back regardless, and our life should be focused on depending on Him, then this type of stuff shouldn't be as surprising. Like, it's the steps towards this decaying society that will eventually combust completely. So, I don't know. I'm rambling here as well, but it's I hurt most for his family, dude. Just because what Brock said too, like two young kids, his wife, and just what they're gonna have to deal with. I shouldn't have, but I read a not to be article of like a statement that I'm sure you guys probably saw that his wife made, and like she got back to her daughter, and her daughter said, "Where's daddy?" And she said something like, he's doing business with Jesus so that we can afford your blueberry diet," or something like that. I was like, "Oh, dude, that hurts." Like, but it's real. So
I also like, I would say, like, initially I was just angry, but then like within an hour I wasn't angry anymore. What's funny, me and Leslie, you could see the 5 stages of grief play out, and they played out like within 90 minutes. I was, well, that's what it happened. And like was moving on. I'm still like, it still hits you, but like went through all of them in 90 minutes. I go to either the gym or the grocery store. I don't remember which one, but like I come home like 5 hours later, and like I was in within 30 minutes I was like, I don't want to watch the news. I don't want to, because it's just everywhere, right? It's just going to make me sad or angry just watching it all day. Right. And you don't need to either. And I told her, and she didn't listen. She wanted to. And then, literally 5 hours later, I come home and the TV was off, and then she goes, I stopped watching it. And I was like, there we go. We're getting there. It took a little bit longer, but we're getting there. It was just very funny to see those stages travel in different speeds. But what was I wanted to say? I wanted to say something. Oh, what made me more sad was, Brock, did you see Roy Stunn's post?
Yeah.
Did you see the comments?
Like the negative ones?
Mm-hmm.
That was talking about, yeah.
So Roy Stunn is a CrossFitter, Daniel. He's made the games a couple times. He's from Australia. And I guess Australia is a democratic place, but wouldn't have never known. But he put a Charlie Kirk post up and then put a Bible verse up or whatever. And his comment section is flooded of, I can't believe you would support this homophobic or whatever guy, and are just like, I'm glad he's dead, or I'm glad this happened. Just so many negative comments, like insane. And like a whole bunch of people said unfollowing, I can't believe you would support this guy. And like it made me more sad that people felt so just hateful in that moment, and for that to comment on his post, and all it was that, and there was just so much hatred, and I got re-sad from that, like, as you talked as far as like as far as the country, like, we should expect this to happen. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's only going to get worse, right? I don't think that means we need to be like, I don't think we should act like it's normal.
No, I agree. I think that, and maybe my comment was perceived as passivity. That doesn't mean that I'm not going to fight for what we do have, right? Or like not going to stand up for, hey, like, that's not acceptable, and try to prolong, the United States of America as much as possible. It's more so like recognizing that the way of the world, in a sense, where it's never acceptable, but it's never unexpected, I guess, if that makes sense.
I did not expect this.
I think it's, in this regard, and this is going to sound, hopefully this doesn't sound callous, but I think it's fantastic, because it's an incredible, like, the light has just been shown, and you're seeing all the cockroaches, and like, oh my gosh, there are that many cockroaches around here, like, and the normies are starting to maybe wake up a little and be like, oh, maybe the people in Congress that talk about, like, taking away my rights actually do want to take away my rights and kill me. I don't know. Maybe they do. Like,
dude, when the Democrats didn't stand up did you see that?
No, dude, I haven't watched much of anything. I just read my sites because I can't. You not watching was me from the start. If I watch anything Democratic, I will literally like self implode. So
the speaker of the House said, "We're going to say a prayer for Charlie Kirk's family." Blah 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 blah. And then I don't know what meeting it is, but So he's like, so we're all going to stand up and then say a prayer, and none of the Democrats stood up.
Dude, there was
they were
people
like,
in the back
and they were like,
screaming no.
are you kidding me? Like, what? You're evil.
There's no other word to describe it other than evil. Disgusting is what it is.
I can't stand when people go, why do you feel so bad for this guy? And then you don't feel bad for Israel or Palestine or the shooting or whatever.
Or the people being deported by ICE. I've heard that a couple times.
Yeah, like you don't show any feelings.
Because Charlie
or
Kirk didn't commit a crime.
Yeah, dude.
The ignorance is unreal.
Oh my gosh. The only way I can rationalize this, because even though, yes, we all are born in sin and we all have, a heart that's desperately wicked, as the Bible says, I don't think that the majority of the people espousing these views are truly like that incredibly wicked. I think they're blind, like outright blind.
I agree.
There's no other way to explain it. Like, if you're trying to explain to a blind man like what the world is, you're never going to comprehend that, right? If he's been blind from birth, and
they've been propagandized.
Right, exactly. You've been indoctrinated into this to where your heart is just so blind to what the truth actually is that you can't have a rational discussion about it. I think there are. Don't get me wrong. I think there's a fair share of people up top that are like probably demon possessed, straight up, and then there's a whole bunch of like, our school system was made this way, man. The public school system was made to create drones that would just follow, not question, follow. Look it up. Look at history. Look at the people that instilled the public school system in America. I could go on and on about this.
George Orwell,
Rockefeller.
Yeah, there's all this stuff, man. Karl Marx had a huge influence with all of it. Like, it's. Why are we surprised? Like, this is what happens.
2084, the sequel.
So, but all right, that was my soapbox. I'm done.
I thought it was neat. I was
where did that come from? just
that what you call it, the that devotion thing that I sent y'all the other day, the one for Friday. I can't remember what day I sent it to you, but the one for Friday, the guy JP Precluda is his name. He was on there and he was saying, he said, as pastors we hear the question all the time, why does bad things happen to good people? And he said, I've never heard it put this way, but he said, bad things don't happen to good people because there's only been one that has happened to. Because he was like, if you go back to Genesis 3, which is the chapter when Adam and Eve sinned, that turned the tables to where nobody's good. You know what I mean? We're all infected with the disease, right? And he was saying that, Jesus was the only one who was truly good that stuff had happened to. He was like, see, we've got to understand that we live in a fallen world and nothing's good. Like, yes, it's hard when people that we perceive to be good, but comparative to other people, like I would say that Charlie Kirk was a good person. You know what I'm saying? Also because he was a believer, right? So like, yeah, that kind of stuff sucks. But it was interesting to me that he was like, none of us are good. So it doesn't always, like, just saying that is almost like a cop-out's not the word, but I don't know. It was just a different perspective that I haven't thought of before. That Jesus was literally the only good one. Interesting.
I do think there are people that are more bad than others, though.
100%. I agree.
And that's where it comes. I like in our, graded curve, like outlook, where we're with all our comparison, yes. But I mean, at the end of the day, as Brock said, I mean, we're all he who keeps the law and yet stumbles at one point is guilty of all. James 2:10, right? Like, so we're all headed to the same place without Jesus. We're all the same amount of guilty. But yes, I hear you.
I think another thing that all this has showed is like you were saying, when the light comes out and you see all the cockroaches, like there's a lot of lost people around us,
Yeah.
Like we're on the opposing team to a lot of people.
Yeah. And I think we can get kind of isolated in our own little bubble where we like don't think that or maybe we think that our viewpoints are closer to the majority than they are. But then there's also the flip side, dude. Like, how many of these accounts are either bots created by some other person or foreign entities trying to sow discord? I don't know, probably a decent amount. So.
All right. Well, I gotta go feed Abby. So that was a great note to end on.
She's chatting, dude.
Yeah. Well, she's hungry. She's hungry. She's withering away, Daniel.
It's not a bad chat. I was just saying she's chatting.
No, I agree. It's all sad. JJ McCarthy is the next great quarterback. Daniel Jones.
My fantasy team.
Yeah, dude. I mean, he did great. Oh man, I think it's more Miami than the Colts, but man, you were the first person I thought of when I saw that. I was like, that's wild. He's so fake. Like, he's a budget Kirk Cousins.
Man, Kirk Cousins looked really good in the right offense.
Budget Kirk Cousins.
Don't hate on my guy, man.
I can't. He did great. I can't hate on him.
Yeah.
But okay, I'm gonna hop off. You guys can keep talking if you want.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I got
couldn't be
15
on
more
too long.
minutes. All good. Yeah, I got 15 more minutes. So.
Yeah, you're good. Dude, another thing that's crazy, we hadn't really talked about it, is the train incident in Charlotte.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
that is another picture perfect example of just evil.
Yeah.
Like.
Did you like I read an article on it talking about what the guy said made him do it. Did you see that?
Yeah, he said that he thought that she could read his mind or something.
Well, before that he was like, the material inside me, it made me do it. Like the material they put inside me, it made me do it. I'm like,
no,
dude,
I didn't see that.
You are possessed 100%. Like, we don't think that's legit. Like,
yeah, dude, Did you see? So my dad preached on, or he used it in his sermon last Sunday. The Minneapolis shooter, the transgender dude. He
Minnesota, yeah.
Minnesota, yeah. Did you see the pictures of like his journal?
Maybe, I don't know.
So there was like a bunch of like the magazine clips or whatever that he was using that had a bunch of like a bunch of phrases on them. Like one of them said something like "Where's your God now?" or something, and one of them was like it was just a bunch of hate speech basically. But then his journal that they found, it was he had drawn a picture in his journal, and the picture was him with a assault rifle like across his back, like strapped across his back, and he was looking into a mirror, and in the mirror he drew a picture of a demon, like he was looking at a demon, and then in a different language he had written out a conversation that him and the demon in the mirror were having, and like it was saying, I just the coach was just saying, he was saying like help, help, and then the demon said back to him like, no, I don't. Hang on, I don't want to. Huh? Yeah, he was saying the guy and the shooter dude was saying like make it stop, like basically talking to the voice in his head. And then I do know the very last line that the demon said back to him was kill, 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 or something like that. So like, and then kill yourself. So he was in his little journal uh, that he drew that picture of, like it was a picture, him looking in the mirror with a demon looking back at him, and the conversation that him and the demon were having. It was very wild. And you know, I'm not naive to the fact that could have been fabricated, but it's also pretty spot on with the Bible. You know what I mean? Like that stuff's real. You know.
Yeah.
And I think now we're in the last couple of weeks we've seen multiple examples of it being real. You know what I mean? Like we you might not be seeing freaking, I don't know, zombies, or you might not be seeing a dang Stranger Things thing walking around, but like we're seeing traces of demons. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or possession, or and I think a lot of times people think that it has to be like you see in the movies, like the Exorcist movies and all these horror movies and whatnot. But I don't think it's really, in today's day and time, I don't think it's really like that.
You're bringing up some good scripture that um out of the world, remember, hates you. Uh, I think it's oddly coincidental that one, I think we chalk up a lot of our quote mental illnesses um, uh, as or like issues as mental illnesses, when in reality, I think there's probably a whole lot more demon possession than we realize, even in our society. Um, but two, I think it's oddly coincidental that these individuals that are mentally ill, mentally sick, um, why is it like, think about it. In Nashville, the transgender shooter, where'd they shoot? A Christian school. Transgender shooter in Minneapolis, a Christian school, a Catholic school.
Hmm.
Like Charlie Kirk, transgender. Like you go down the list, why is it always a Christian something, right? And it just
Yep.
brings me to John 15, verse 18. Jesus says, if the world hates you, you know that it has hated me before it hated you. If you were of the world would love its own. But because you are not of the world, but I chose you out of the world, because of this, the world hates you. And then 1 John, when we get to it, probably next week, verse 13 out of chapter 3, do not be surprised, brethren, if the world hates you. I mean, Jesus told us this was going to happen. And that's where I
Hmm.
think I was maybe trying to articulate a little bit. It's like, dude, this sucks. It's terrible. Charlie's he was just a dad. He was a dude. Like he wasn't the president. He wasn't a political figure. He wasn't, he was a guy trying to make a difference. Um, and he was shot in cold blood. But like, if you look at what he stood for, it makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Let's see if I can pull this up. Hang on. Yeah, that goes back to what you were saying earlier, is that we really shouldn't be surprised when stuff like this happens.
Right.
I mean, yeah, it sucks. Like, that's not to water it down by no means. But just like you said in the scripture, the world hates us because of Christ.
Right. Right.
This is let me see if you can see this. This is the picture that he drew.
Oh, dang. Yeah. That's crazy.
Pretty wild.
Yeah. That's crazy.
All in all, I think what that was one thing I was texting a friend of mine Thursday, might have been yesterday. Anyways, I was looking on. I was on social media. I can't remember if I was on. No, I was on Facebook, and um, I can't remember who exactly it was, but somebody had reposted this thing, and it was very left sided, and it was very not really celebratory, but it was like defending him being shot, and like the more and more I started seeing of that, the more and more angry I was getting. And like I had to stop myself from commenting on people's stuff. And, I kind of felt like something was telling me, like, you need to quit worrying about what everybody else is doing and focus on growing your faith stronger, like it's because at the end of the day, if we're so focused on all this, and I'm not saying this to say that, like you were saying, that we've got to be passive and that you're not supposed to stand up for what it would be different if I saw somebody who is a proclaimed or who is a professing believer saying, or somebody who claims to be a Christian posting something like that. Then it's like, okay, well, I feel like I kind of have to say, hey, like, that's not biblical. Like, that's a little bit different of a situation. But I almost felt like the Lord was saying, like, stop looking. Like, what is it? Their opinion on this situation is not that's driving you further away from me because you're getting angry. And yes, in a sense it is justified anger, but that's still not helping my relationship with the Lord. You know what I mean? That's putting a hindrance on it. So, like, I think we've got to be, as believers, I think we've got to be careful to not spend so much time looking at the negative and use this situation as a positive. And I know that's a cliche, corny statement, but I mean, it's the truth. I really think that this is going to cause a lot of Christians to wake up, to say, like, it's time to prepare for battle,
Yeah.
Again, that's a cliche saying, but I mean, it's the truth. Like, if this was a clear shot at not just a right-winged analyst or whatever they describe him as, but this was a shot at faith, this was a shot at being able to use your voice. But yeah, I think, I'm rambling again too, but I think we've got to be careful that we don't put too much emphasis on what these other people are saying, because at the end of the day, you can't expect a non-Christian to act like a Christian, and that's where we have to use the light to outshine the dark. Like, we have to be set apart, and we have to look different from everybody else.
No doubt. I think you wrapped it up. I think you wrapped up like what our response should be and where we should go from here really, really well. I'm just going to add some scripture to what you said, to be honest, to reinforce it. And I'll kind of jump a little bit all over the place. So bear with me if something doesn't make sense. In terms of like comparing ourselves to others, this is a little different, but it reminded me at the end of John, chapter 21, where Christ tells Peter, "Hey, you're gonna die on the cross, or on a cross. Basically, you're gonna die for me. Like, you're gonna be a martyr." And Peter looks at him and says, "Hey, what about John standing next to me? Like, what about him?" And Jesus responds with, "If I want him to remain until I come, what is that to you? You follow me." Basically, like, keep your eyes on me, man. Don't worry about anything else. To go with that, two verses that I love in Hebrews, they're said a lot, but Hebrews 12, verses 1 and 2. "Therefore, since we have so great a cloud of witnesses surrounding us, let us also lay aside every encumbrance and the sin which so easily entangles us, and let us run with endurance the race that is set before us, fixing our eyes on Jesus, the author and perfecter of faith, who for the joy set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and has sat down at the right hand of the throne of God." I come back to Philippians 4:8. I think I've quoted this a million times on this passage, on this podcast. My mom has to me. Whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, dwell on these things. And then finally, right, Ephesians 6, put on the full armor of God. Like, Paul instructs us to do this because the devil is a roaring lion. His fiery, what is that? I think he describes his, against the spiritual forces, yeah. "For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the powers, against the world forces of this darkness, against the spiritual forces of wickedness in the heavenly places." That's verse 12 of chapter 6. He describes, I think, it's, oh yeah, there it is, verse 16. "In addition to all, taking up the shield of faith, with which you will be able to extinguish all the flaming arrows of the evil one." Like, he's actively shooting at us, right? So yeah, wrapping it all up, fix our eyes on Christ, and be, at my Friday morning Bible study, he used a great word, I thought, to describe like what our mindset should be, and it should be radical, like, to where, like, we're willing, hey, if the social media is like an issue, like, shut it down for a little bit. That might seem radical to some people, but shut it down. Or like, I think radical, naturally, our listeners, and for both of us, like, we think of diet or exercise or stuff like that to really shock the body. Like, you want to get it on the right path, right? Same type of concept with following Christ. Like, if we need to take radical steps, like, what Christ says in Matthew 5, right? I mean, I don't know if this was meant to be taken verbatim, but he's like, if your right eye causes you to sin, gouge it out, type of thing. Like, so I don't know. Just to wrap it all up, dude, I think you hit it spot on, and just so that we're focusing on Christ and what's right, and whatever it might be. Like me, I know I couldn't handle listening to any of that stuff, so I probably read the news more than I should, but I read the sources I could read. So
Yeah.
Just knowing that, knowing where we're weak and where he's strong, and trying to, I'm actively learning this. So this is not me saying I have it figured out by any means, but I think you hit it on the head, man. Really appreciate it.
That was good. We gotta keep our head up because it's gonna get worse.
Yes, sir. No doubt. Pray without ceasing, right? God, if God is for us, who can be against us? So, all right. Well, I gotta head out. Appreciate you, man. It's been good talking.
Man, yeah, we'll do it again next week, or well, I'll be gone next Saturday, so it may be the when's y'all's Thursday class end?
The last one is this coming Thursday.
This coming Thursday. Okay, so maybe the following Thursday we'll be able to do it back to normal.
Okay.
Which I kind of like the Saturdays, but sometimes Saturdays can be busy. Like next Saturday we're gonna be out of town, but anyways, we'll get back with it.
Cool. Yeah, we can alternate too. I like Saturday afternoons during the boys' naps too. So just let me know.
Yeah, that works out pretty good.
All right, dude.
All right, dude. See you, man.